Okay, welcome back to another glorious moment of stupid drift car shit. April 7th.
Seven
Is what we're looking at. April 7th. It's gonna be a good time, provided I can make it. This feels a lot like when we were trying to rush for DriftCon.
Oh, I think we're right at the bottom,
But we know a lot more this time, which is kind of cool. We cut corners last time, last build around, and it was because of purely financial. We thought we could get away with it, and we did for the most part, but after having built it, and in hindsight, because we had the time and I could stack a bit more financial, we decided to go ahead and do those changes to make it a more reliable and ultimately more powerful motor. But for the nerds that are watching, I'm gonna give you a really quick and dirty of it. We are building essentially what is a redneck S54. A BMW M50 starts as a 2.5 liter, and we have used the crank, rods, and pistons out of an M54 B30. And that's a pretty common way to get more stroke out of an M50. But thanks to Rabid Racing and me just getting absolutely drunk one night and hitting him up over Instagram, I was like, hey, you're based out of, my hometown in Woodinville. Like, you should sponsor me. I'm a local scumbag Grassroots guy. I can provide this much exposure and do some legwork in a demographic that isn't road racing. And I thought it was just a joke, really. And the next morning I woke up and I was like, what the fuck did I do? Because he said, yeah. And so Nishan, who runs Rabid Racing, is a fantastic human being and has helped me out with just all of this stuff. He's a phenomenal human being, incredibly busy, but just I've already been so impressed by the quality of his work, the quality of his character, how much he wants to help out. The other things that are being changed here, before I kind of glaze over them when we're talking nerd talk, is we are doing solid lifters instead of hydraulic lifters. There is a solid lifter conversion kit that you can get from Alien Engineering. They look like this. They're the most expensive washers you'll ever buy, but they are all machined perfectly into a tolerance of 1/1000th of an inch, and they will get you the lash you need in order to set up these cams, which, by the way, are now different. I was running BMW M3 S50 or S52 M3 cams. And those were great because it shifted the power band from the middle to more up top. But now that we are running with these ITBs, they flow a lot more air than the factory M3 even. So we need to increase the velocity of the air by ramping up the speed of the motor. So a couple of things that will be done to this motor, different from last year, is going to be those solid lifters, the solid lifter cams. We're going to put an ATI fluid damper on the front of this just to kind of help with vibration. Yeah, so we're looking at basically a 3-liter high revving M50 on ITBs. I think it's going to be awesome. We've also picked up another sponsor, which is really rad, a guy named Jimmy over at Dadfab, and he is designing a prototype for us to run for competition. We are running an angle kit this season. Now, before, I wasn't really using an angle kit. I used these $30 Chinese-made adapters that allow me to relocate on the knuckle. You used to chop the knuckle, shorten it, weld it back up, and it would change the pivot point for the steering, and so you get more angle out of it, right? But there are better ways of doing this. There's kits called Wisefab or SLR. They all make really great kits. But it's always great when you drunkenly reach out locally and they are sympathetic to your cause and they're really good people. Jimmy has been a fantastic person to work with, not just sending memes to each other about stupid shit, but also just talking about concepts happening. I remember when I had 944 wiring problems, I could send him a video of a circuit board and he could figure out if something was cracked or not.
Enhance.
Things like this, they sound great because when we were all growing up, you would have skateboarding and people were like, oh, I'm sponsored now. It's like, okay, well, understand what we're talking about here for a moment. These are business relationships. These are people that are trying to create a product to reach a demographic to sell, but they don't necessarily have the time or the resources to put it into a spotlight that would help them grow the best. This is where you can really shine if you guys are out there looking for, trying to get sponsored or do things like that. This is all small-time stuff for me because what we're doing is grassroots, right? But these guys have aspirations that are far grander than just my drifting career, if I can even call it career. But I am very excited, but it is early March and we have until April 7th to have this car, tires on the ground, ready to rock, tuned, shaken down, everything. So I'm nervous. And if we miss the first round, I'd rather miss the first round and then know that we're doing it right and try to make the points back throughout the rest of the season instead of rushing to get there and cutting corners again. So you guys are along for the ride, and I'm really stoked that you guys are all here watching my stupidity because someone's got to do it. I volunteer as tribute. I'll make you guys all feel better about your lives. So that's kind of what's on the horizon. This is going to be a hell of a month for Jeremy and his wife, really. His amazing wife. So yeah, let's just kind of hang out in the garage and watch me be stupid. That's what I'm here for. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you.